Hello again. I think it's probably fair to say that many people in Britain are dissatisfied with the political system as it exists and feel that there must be a better way of dealing with things rather than just writing a cross on a ballot paper every 4 or 5 years and then letting the government do as they please, having no say at all in things until the next general election. After all, governments seldom actually do the kind of things which most ordinary people want them to do, whether this relates to immigration, relying upon renewable energy, or instituting mad schemes designed to make life difficult for those who drive cars. Once a government is installed in Westminster, we have no power at all to alter what they do or how they behave for the next few years. I think we all know that once we vote in, this is, of course, representative democracy. We all vote for a representative who will put our views forward in Parliament, the legislature. But I think most of us realise that once we create an MP in this way, it's rather like poor Baron Frankenstein and his monster. The MP that we have created lurches around doing all kinds of terrible things in a way that makes us put our head in our hands in despair. They assume a life of their own and forget that they are supposed to represent us. They become independent beings, completely beyond our control. Wouldn't it be great, though, if we could veto ideas in Parliament with which we disagreed, or compel the government to adopt some course of action? This is the dream of direct democracy, in which we are given a say in the decisions made by government, not just in choosing the government, but in effecting what they do once they are in office. As it happens, I've witnessed direct democracy of this kind in action, which was on a kibbutz in Israel where I lived for a year. Because the community was small, fewer than 1,000 people, there were weekly meetings which all adults could attend, and proposals affecting the running of the place were debated and voted on by everybody who wished to participate. Once you get above that number, once you get more than 1,000 people, direct democracy, let's say where every member of a society is involved, always became a little unwieldy. It's not unwieldy anymore. So the excuse for avoiding direct democracy, which was that it would become unwieldy and almost unworkable in a modern society, is no longer viable. There is now a movement in this country called Direct Democracy UK, which will be putting candidates up at elections from the beginning of next year. Essentially, the aim is to abolish representative democracy, in which our role is limited to choosing somebody who will represent our views to the legislature, and replacing it with direct democracy, in which we actually vote to decide on policies adopted by the government and laws which are proposed, so that we, the people, can decide what the government does. I dare say that most of us have seen television broadcasts of the division lobby in the House of Commons, where our MPs are traipsing through the different things, voting in favour or against some piece of legislation, and how we wish that we were able to do that rather than relying on the person that we voted in. Well, it's possible that that could happen. I've been reading a very interesting book lately called One Vote Away, Saving the West, written by a man called Neil Petrie. And he outlines the possibilities for such a scheme. It works perfectly well in Switzerland. And the book presents quite a compelling case for the idea of digital democracy, direct democracy in the modern world with digital technology. I mean, let's face it, we've all got mobile telephones these days. It would be the work of a moment to install an app so that all adults could vote for or against any proposal which Parliament was debating. This is an interesting idea, and a description to this video provides links both to the book and also to the Direct Democracy UK website. It's interesting to note that the last time the British public was solicited for their views, when a referendum was held on membership of the common market, the actual people voted against the views and wishes of the three main parties in Parliament. And I have an idea that if a referendum were to be held on, say, immigration or capital punishment, then the result might similarly fail to accord with the liberal and progressive views which rule at Westminster.